Welcome to Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday, brought to you by Big Beard Battery. Visit BigBeardBattery.com. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Hey, this week I got Ross Stoico from RV Tips and Travels with me here on the Tech Tip Show. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your channel first.
So I started the channel just kind of getting into some of the basic, learning how to RV, kind of simple things, mostly procedural, some small maintenance stuff. And then as the channel progressed, came out here to the NRTVA to kind of learn about, the getting in more depth with the power management side of things, propane side of things. So that's kind of how the channel's progressing. So we're trying to roll with the punches there.
So you got a lot of viewers that watch you do a couple things, right? I'm sure a lot of them are maybe wanting to learn, a little bit about RVing, but I'm sure you also have quite a few that are, just like your channel that probably are avid RV owners.
Yeah, I do. I think probably a small majority of the viewers are just getting into the lifestyle or have been in it for a year or two and looking to learn more. And I do also have a lot of viewers who are have been doing it even longer than I have,
right,
but still try to learn some things as they go. So It's kind of, I think, a good mix of an audience.
All right. So we were kind of discussing a little bit, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about solar. What questions do you have any over in your channel or something where people are saying, hey, got a solar question?
Yeah, so I do get some solar questions from time to time because I've done a lot of other things to the RV. I've never done solar on my RV. So, and solar has been very foreign to me up to the point where I'm starting to learn about it. The biggest question I get is, I want to start with something small. What do I need? And they kind of ask the question, what is the process of learning? How much solar do I need? What type of equipment do I need? There's a lot of different options you have.
Sure.
So I would pose that over to someone like you who has the experience.
So looking at something simple starting off. And so a couple questions. And everything that we do when it comes to someone who's coming in and says, hey, look, I want to go with solar or whatnot, always have questions for them. And that is, what do you, if you're talking about solar, what do you see yourself doing with the solar? Right?
Okay.
I can't tell you what you need until you give me your vision of what you're wanting to do. If you're comfortable with going to RV parks everywhere you go, then solar may not be a big necessity at this point. That doesn't say you can't do it, but So if you're going to spend money and add some equipment to the RV, what could that equipment do to help you achieve something you can't do now? Okay. Right? So let's say there's a lot of sites you want to go to, or maybe no sites at all, weekend or something like that, right? And if you just had a little bit more power that maybe a generator couldn't provide, or at least a generator may not be pleasant because of the noise, right? So first thing to ask is, when we're saying solar, it's kind of a catch-all term. Solar really simply means solar panels. But a lot of times what we're saying is inverted power or portable power outside of a generator. Okay, so if we just have solar panels and that's all you did was put a couple solar panels on your RV, then that is a second charge source for the batteries, right? Sun comes out, hits the solar panel, it can provide an additional charge source for the batteries and maybe help run some of the 12-volt needs during the day, right? Sun goes down, solar panel basically goes dormant, and now the only power you have, if you're off grid, would be the batteries. Okay. If someone wants to run something outside of the 12 volts, still be off grid outside of the 12 volts, now we need to add some components, which is an inverter. And that's going to take the battery power and convert it over into 120 volts. Yep. Okay. And again, if we're starting small, then I'm assuming we're not talking about running the air conditioner or large items such as the microwave, but maybe the refrigerator, something like that, and the refrigerator runs off 120. Yep. So a small inverter could handle that. And the way you look at inverters is they are the supply and they provide a certain amount of wattage output. You want to match that inverter either to be the same size or bigger than whatever you want to run. Let's say it's just the refrigerator, 600 watts on the refrigerator, then maybe a 1,000-watt inverter can run that. Okay. So that's when we're talking again solar. That's kind of a catch-all term, right? So what do you want to do? And based on your vision of what you want to do, we would have to add certain components. Of course, if you want to run something bigger, say a refrigerator or something, an air conditioner or something like that, then we'd go with a larger inverter like what we have here, right? So we're just matching the equipment to their vision and to be able to provide the power that they're looking for.
Gotcha. So one of the first questions that really needs to be answered is, what do you want to do?
Yeah, what do you see yourself doing?
Yeah, because you got a lot of different solar panels to choose from. How many? What type of batteries you're going to need? How many?
Yeah.
What type of inverter you're going to need?
So let's say they're sold on, look, my vision is to be off-grid, and I get the question, can you do it for 4 or 5 days? I'm like, if I can get you 24 hours, then I can get you 365 days a year, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, tell me your vision. They say, I'd like to see this. My next question is, how much money do you have?
Yeah.
Right? Because your vision may be here, but your pocketbook is here. Because this is a costly endeavor.
Yeah.
Right? Average, it can start off, somewhere as low, swapping out a battery, a couple $100, all the way up to running 3 ACs. It may be 25, 30,000. Right?
Yep.
So, for that individual, it's like, what do you see yourself doing? Oh man, I'd love to be going to, the Grand Tetons and staying, 2 weeks out there on some BLM land, and then I'm going to go to the coast, whatever it may be, right?
Yep.
If you're doing that, then a cost analysis, you were able to get that money back, because I'm sure some people just went, what, $25,000? Are you kidding me? Well, if the average overnight stay at an RV park is $45 a night, and that's pretty low, you take whatever it is you're paying for the solar system and say 45, divide that by 45, and that tells you how many days, right, before you get your return on investment.
Yep.
So there's a couple different things. If they go all out, the next question is how much money do you have? And at that point, is it worth it, based on your vision?
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
And I will say it can be done in stages. Well, say I can do it in stages, but there's only so much money I can, put out
Right.
over time. Things like that again. What do you want to see yourself doing? Okay, how much money do you have? Okay, so we can put in this part here and this part here, and you can run limited things, right? Or for a limited amount of time. And when the pocketbook kind of fills back up, then you can add some more items, make it run longer. And that's the way usually it works, because we never have someone says, damn it, I bought too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always, this is great, I went half a day, how do I get the whole day?
Makes sense. Okay.
All right. Well, Ross, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we were able to do this. And thank you for coming on the channel.
I appreciate
Where
it.
can people find you again?
RV Tips and Travels on YouTube.
All right. There's your tech tip. Hey, if you got questions about batteries or want to go ahead and put in a solar system but need some guidance, head over to bigbeardbattery.com, fill out the solar design form, and one of our certified solar experts will give you a call and get you started. That's right. That was like 15 minutes. Toasty. You got your ears on, or are you looking at monitors? No 2 minutes about that one. It's blowing hot over here. No, are we calling it that? What are we going to call it? Hey, this week I got Roy.
Who?
Roy.
That's me.
Sorry, I'm getting his last name.
Stoico.
Roy. That may not be. That may.